The White House just released an executive order and a new law that didn't just legalize crypto, but intentionally, strategically, and irreversibly set the stage for a violent recovery? I know what you're thinking. The market just bled out, and you're talking about a violent recovery? You're crazy. But that's the genius of it. While the red candles were painting the screen, the real battle, the one for the soul of the US financial system, was being won. The war isn't over, but a new chapter just began, and the XRP bulls are about to be unleashed in a way you can't imagine. This isn't a theory. I've read the reports, I've seen the facts, and I'm going to show you exactly how this new policy directly benefits your portfolio. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type "interested" in the comments. I will give you a heart. For years, the crypto industry fought against what I call the three-headed monster of regulation. Head 1 was the SEC, with their lawsuits. Head 2 was Operation Choke Point 2.0, a backdoor government effort to cut off banking access for crypto companies. Head 3 was the lack of a clear framework, leaving everyone in a state of chaos. But a few days ago, an event happened that you might have missed. The White House just released a new piece of legislation called the Genius Act. This might sound like some boring government bill, but trust me, it's not. It's the first ever comprehensive federal framework for stablecoins, and it's a direct shot at this monster. At the same time, a new executive order was released that threatens to fine banks for discriminating against crypto companies, essentially bulldozing the roadblocks. This isn't a coincidence. This is the government giving a clear signal. But here's the crucial part. Why would the most powerful government in the world suddenly create a clear, predictable environment for digital dollars? And what does this have to do with the XRP bulls being unleashed? Think of the US financial system like a massive, old, clunky freight train. It's powerful, but it's slow. For a long time, crypto was like a tiny high-tech jet plane that couldn't get off the ground because the train was blocking the runway. But the White House just released the bulldozers. The Genius Act isn't just about stablecoins. It's about creating a safe, legal on-ramp for trillions of dollars of institutional money to enter the crypto space. It makes it clear that certain digital assets are not securities. It forces the banking system to play nice and opens the floodgates to new liquidity. This isn't just good news, it's the financial equivalent of a starting pistol. For the last 3 years, the big banks, the hedge funds, and the pension funds have been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for this exact moment. They needed a green light, a clear set of rules. And now they have it. But here's where things get much, much bigger. The regulatory clarity and the new laws from the White House just released are just the first domino to fall. The real money, the exponential 200x type of money, isn't going to come from the old system just adopting crypto. It's going to come from a new financial system being built from the ground up. This new system is powered by something I call a silent superweapon. It's an economic revolution that uses technology to solve a problem that's literally as old as money itself. And a key component of that superweapon is an incredibly fast, efficient asset that has been under attack for years, but is now perfectly positioned to thrive: XRP. The traditional financial world is waking up to this. A new SEC chair, Paul Atkins, has publicly acknowledged that a conditional exemptive relief framework is needed for digital assets. This is the first time in years the US government has been in a full-on pro-innovation stance. But what is this superweapon, and why is Ripple, and specifically XRP, perfectly positioned to wield it? This isn't about price predictions. This is about utility, purpose, and a new global financial architecture being built right now. The silent superweapon is the machine-to-machine, M2M economy. Think about the world in 5 to 10 years. Your smart fridge will automatically pay for groceries. Your self-driving car will pay for its own electricity and parking. An AI agent will execute trades for you, or your home solar panels will automatically sell surplus energy back to the grid. These are all microtransactions. Billions of them, every single day. The problem? The traditional financial system, with its archaic payments networks, can't handle this. It's too slow and too expensive. It's like trying to send a text message using a pigeon. Even a lot of popular blockchains are too congested and costly to process these transactions at scale. But the new laws from the White House just released provide the trust and legality needed for this AI-driven, M2M economy to use digital assets. The regulatory quicksand is gone. The big question now is, which crypto will be the one they choose? It has to be an asset that is fast, incredibly cheap, and most importantly, has a clear legal status. The only coin that fits this perfectly is XRP. And that's the true catalyst for the violent recovery we're about to see. You see, the new regulatory clarity from the White House just released is a powerful catalyst, but it's not happening in a vacuum. While the US was tied up in legal battles, other global superpowers were not. They were building. The EU has been making decisive moves with their digital euro, and China's digital yuan, ECNY, is already being used in cross-border trade, completely bypassing the old financial system. This isn't just about modernizing payments. This is a Cold War, a race for financial supremacy. The US government is now playing catch-up, and that creates an unprecedented time-sensitive window of opportunity for us. The new laws are a clear signal that the US is coming off the sidelines. But here's the problem. The old financial system, the one built on the back of SWIFT, is a dinosaur. The US can't win this race with a dinosaur. They need a cheetah. But what if the US already has that cheetah, and it's been sitting in plain sight, waiting for the starting gun? Enter XRP. Think of traditional international payments like this. If you want to send money from New York to a supplier in Tokyo, your bank has to hold a pile of Japanese yen in a Japanese bank to make the payment. That pile of cash is called liquidity, and every bank in the world has to tie up huge amounts of capital just to pre-fund these accounts. It's a slow, clunky, and expensive system. It's the definition of a dinosaur. But here's Ripple's silent genius. They pioneered a technology called on-demand liquidity, or ODL. This is where XRP shines. Instead of pre-funding accounts with local currency, a bank can use XRP as a bridge asset. They convert their dollars to XRP, send the XRP over the ledger in seconds, and the recipient bank converts it instantly into yen. The XRP token acts as the lubricant for the entire global financial engine. It's so fast and so cheap that it makes all that pre-funded capital obsolete. With the White House just released the regulatory handcuffs, financial institutions can now use this technology at scale. It's no longer a question of legality, it's a question of efficiency. And that is why the XRP bulls are set to run wild. Now we've talked about the big picture, but let's get down to brass tacks. Adoption. Everyone knows Ripple has partnerships with companies like MoneyGram, but that's old news. The real action is happening behind closed doors. There's a major, and I mean major institutional player, a name you would immediately recognize, that is working with Ripple, not for remittances, but for something far more significant, asset tokenization. Imagine a world where ownership of a multi-billion-dollar real estate portfolio, a fine art collection, or even a fund is represented by a token on the XRP ledger. This is a multi-trillion-dollar market. A well-known institutional asset manager recently added XRP to its smart contract fund, and they've publicly acknowledged its utility. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What is this partnership, and what does it mean for the future of XRP as a key building block for a brand new, tokenized global economy? And more importantly, how do other key players fit into this narrative? This isn't a winner-takes-all game. While Ripple is building the main artery for institutional cross-border payments, other projects are building equally crucial parts of the financial system. Take Stellar, XLM, for example. It's also focused on fast, cheap payments, but with a primary focus on remittances and individual users. Stellar has recently announced major integrations with legacy payment systems like PayPal, bringing millions of new users into the digital asset space. Then there's Hedera, HBAR. This one is truly for the big corporations. Its governing council is made up of global giants like Google and IBM. HBAR isn't just about payments, it's about a new form of digital trust. They're tokenizing real-world assets, and even running proofs of concept with organizations to handle massive data flows. Why does this matter to you? Because XRP is the cheetah, but HBAR and XLM are the lions and tigers. They are all different, but they are all apex predators in this new jungle. Diversifying across these key projects is not just smart, it's essential to capture the full scope of this coming financial revolution. Now let's bring it back to the charts. The recent drop felt like a punch to the gut, didn't it? Bitcoin at $112,000, Ethereum down to $3,700, and XRP dropping over 25%. A lot of people on the sidelines are looking at that drop and saying, "See? I told you so. It's a bear trap." But they're missing the forest for the trees. The drop was a final, violent shakeout. It was an event designed to liquidate over-leveraged long positions and scare weak hands out of the market. And the fact that we've already seen a bounce, a violent recovery, from those lows tells you everything you need to know. We have a powerful confluence of events. Massive institutional clarity from the White House just released an unprecedented opportunity, and a chart that just reset for a new leg up. But there's one final massive piece of the puzzle that will supercharge this entire move. A macro event that the market has been anticipating for months. I'm talking about the Federal. For the last 2 years, the Fed has had its foot on the brakes with high interest rates to fight inflation. But now, with inflation under control and economic data softening, the narrative is shifting. We now have a greater than 90% chance of a rate cut this month, a move the market hasn't seen in a long time. Lower interest rates are like pouring rocket fuel on risk-on assets. It makes borrowing cheaper for businesses and encourages investors to seek higher returns outside of traditional savings accounts. When you combine this monetary easing with the regulatory clarity that the White House just released, you get the perfect storm for a crypto bull run. It is the perfect recipe for a violent recovery. This isn't a guess. It's the historical playbook. And this time we have a new player in the game, the institutional adoption of XRP and other enterprise-grade digital assets. What we are witnessing isn't just a market cycle. It's a tectonic shift. It's the old slow financial guard being replaced by a new, digital one. The White House just released the signal. The Fed is about to provide the fuel. The technology exists to build this new system, and the asset at the center of it all is XRP. This is your moment. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. You've seen the full picture, from the macro forces to the specific projects poised to win. You came here feeling the fear and uncertainty of the recent market drop. You came here wondering if this was the beginning of the end. But now, you know better. You understand that the drop was not a sign of weakness, but a violent shakeout before a violent recovery. You now have the knowledge and the perspective that 99% of other people don't. This is your moment. You are now prepared. You have a deeper understanding of the forces at play, from Washington to Wall Street, and you know which projects are the key players in this new digital economy. You've been given the key to not just survive, but to thrive in this coming bull run. Now that you have the macro picture, you need to know how to navigate the tactical details of this bull run. This next video right here breaks down the 3 critical indicators you must watch in the coming weeks to time your moves perfectly. Click it now, and I'll see you there.